What up, though? And welcome back to I'm Growing, Man. It's your man, John D. In the building. I got some news to say. I'm leaving the current company I was with to go to another company. Well, go to Lansing Public Schools. And I wanted to get on here and pretty much just tell my students kind of what happened. And parents, those of you that care to listen. I started with the company at the end of January of 23. January of 23, started out as a social studies teacher. There's been like a leadership change. So I'm just watching. They know that I'm certified. They had some people that was just pretty much warm bodies. You know, they didn't get hired for this position, but, you know, they were taken out of another position to fill this role because they needed people to teach this subject matter. So they couldn't control the class. They asked me to take over the math class. So I take over the math class. In my head, like I know that I can control my classroom. So I wasn't worried about that. But I didn't really want to be a classroom teacher at that point. So I kind of finished out the year. I didn't kind of learn the way that they wanted me to do it because in my head, I didn't want to teach, but I wanted to be in education. So they offered me a math specialist role because I told them I didn't want to teach. And I felt like they knew that I'm pretty good at what I do as far as a presence. That's why when I say that I'm good at what I do, the presence, like the students know, they know who I am because I try to give them the grace that they deserve because they're kids. And a lot of times as adults, we don't have the patience because we have so many things going on in other places. And then we come here and we have to like teach these kids a subject area, but they don't even know how to just be kids. And we talk to them and they respond and we kind of get in this tug of war. And I got into the point where, you know, I tell them who I am. I'm like, look, I'm human. I know that, you know, you're going to mess up because you're a kid. But this is how you respond. I give them a few options. Because what I want them to do, I want them to start thinking so that their responses, they have different responses that can deliver a result that they want. Because a lot of times as humans, we don't know how to control our emotions. And if we get mad, we overreact and make a situation worse than it is. That's what I've learned through working on communication. If you are friends with somebody, nobody's going to intentionally disrespect you. If you asked enough questions, you would know maybe they were just scared. They didn't know how to tell you because they knew how you would respond. And it was like a combination of things why somebody wouldn't say things, right? So you just got to know that if you had enough information, you wouldn't ever overreact because you already understand. You know why they're doing what they're doing. But we can't control our emotions. And when you can't control your emotions, it's unfortunately, it creates some bad practices amongst people when it comes to communicating. And I'm saying this and just speaking in my own sense, like, me and my wife, I remember in the beginning, I used to tell her, like, this is how I talk. You know, she didn't say you could get better. In my head, I'm like, you married this person. So I convinced her that it was okay because that's who I was. But if, as a person that's talking to somebody, like as a teacher, talking to my students, if they don't receive the message, they're not going to get it. And I think that the students this year, because I started out as a math specialist this year and then I had to go right back in the classroom. But going back into the classroom, I didn't want to. Remember, I told you that. I got another job opportunity and this company decided that they wanted to compete and they paid me to stay. Now, this is where it hurts me because through negotiations, I say, hey, this amount of money, I'm going to get this money and am I getting another year? The lady said, absolutely. She said, you'll even get a raise at the end of the year, depending on your evaluation. I said, I need to know because I have this job on the table and I already know what I could go with that. She said, I'm telling you, you got that. So in my head, I like the kids. So it was like icing on the cake. I got what I needed and I got to keep the kids. 3 weeks into me working, I get an email that tells me I need to call somebody. I'm talking to somebody in HR, and they tell me that this rate that they gave me is only good in the school year. Like as a teacher, I get paid all year round. They told me that if I'm not teaching, I don't get that rate. So now it hurts my heart because I'm like, I turned down a job that I had, and because she said this. So I tried to reach out to her. She never responded. That hurt too. So in my head, I'm like, okay, it's a business. I get it. So maybe a couple months later, I get an email that says that my pay is going to be decreased after this year. So I got, now mind you, this pay decrease was $16,000. 16,000, right? And I was like, oh my God, I missed out on a job and they ain't even giving me what they said they was going to give me. So in my head, something's going to work out. I believe the universe is going to come together and all of this because at this point, I'm really bothered. But I have a conversation and they say that the test scores of the kids were poor. And I said, I just got them in December. What did y'all expect? So they were poor. These students, they were given another opportunity to see if they had any type of growth. 62% of the students attained their goal. 62%. 81% maybe showed growth. 81% showed growth. And this was just from that fall. I came in December, that fall grade, and then what I did in this test. And I was like, wow, we can do some really good things next year. Like in my head, because I hadn't taught math in a long time. I've been an administrator for years, but I had committed to myself that I was going to give them the best math teacher possible. So I had been working every day, like, what can I do to get better at math? Try to make up, because, like I have a degree in math, a specialist. Like I can do math, but to teach it, it's a different animal. But I had started working on, I figured out my experience in education. What can I do to get the most out of these kids? And I feel like I understood what I was going to do for next year. So mind you, this is my head thinking with all of this background noise of my money that's just disappearing as I walk. So it's the end of the school year and I decided I'm work summer school. So during summer school, I feel like I actually realized that I'm not coming back to the school. So I had to find another position, which I did, which is even a pay decrease from what I originally was supposed to get when I was going to leave the first time. They lied to me, remember? That hurts my heart that nobody contacted me. But anyways, I get a job and then I put in I resigned. Now, I want you to listen to this. This is the reason why education systems, when it's a profit, they don't even realize who they had. This school is by far a school of color. The administration doesn't have one person of color. It was 2 black men in the building by the time at the end of the year, and neither one of us are coming back. They let me go because they didn't want to pay me the money that I was told I was supposed to get. And I guess it bothers me because those kids deserve more. And I really wish I could have given it to them. Now, I believe they understand the formula. I just hope that whoever, they have can create the environment where they can learn. Because they're going to be math teachers. but to create an environment where the kids want to learn in it, it's a different experience. So I came on here to just say, like, as a business, a profit business, you would think that they would have done everything they could to keep me there. You know, I didn't even say this. So I got there January of 23, the 8th grade class. When I was their 6th math teacher. 6th. I came in when I was a social studies teacher. They had 2 people in there. And then I became the 3rd one. So then this year, remember I became a specialist. They got a new teacher. That person quit. They ended up getting an online teacher. And then it became me again. 6 math teachers. And I'm going to tell you, even last year's math teacher with the person I was, in my head, I wasn't going to go back into teaching. So I wasn't like working on my craft. So this year, when I went back in the classroom, I was working on the craft. So the kids got a whole different math teacher. And then when I'm thinking, like, if the world and this business is talking about inclusion and diversity, it's crazy to me. You can let me walk away. You know, like, I don't know. I guess I'm just disappointed. You know, my wife was like, you know, it's a profit business. You know, this is, it's nothing to them. And I'm just thinking, like, it's education. Like, you know, we here to, like, try to pour into other people's kids, and they just trying to take the dollar and not even understand what the point is. And then not only that, like, I have so much experience. Like, this was like one of the best schools I ever worked for too. Like, this is literally one of the best schools I've been in. I think I do believe they support the teacher. In the way that I do, like, just looking at all the schools that I've been in, like, I do believe they support that, but they don't care about the experience that goes into it. Like, I was in Orlando and Atlanta, and then I went abroad. Like, I have so much experience. It would seem like you lucky you get me for this cheap. And then you don't even, like, I don't understand. Like, it can't be about the kid. It has to be the profit, because you promised this. And then, you know, the wife says she was going to do whatever she could to keep you in that school. She was willing to lie. And then I was like, we in education. I got a family. And then I'm just like, I don't know how to look at that. That's why, to me, like, I know, like, somebody like me, the administration is too young to realize who I am. Like, I was really working on my craft. I wanted to be a really good math teacher. I'm still going to become a really good math teacher, but I'm talking about one of the math teachers where kids was like, they know they good because Mr. Lewis is constantly getting better in math. Like, that's like, I wanted to at least give these kids that I was going to have this year, because the most difficult part about teaching is, like, creating the culture where the kids buy into it. I got kids that buy into it, and, like, it wasn't important enough. The reason why I said administration's too young, because if I was an administrator and I see, there's no way I let him get away. Oh, we need him. But they're so young that they don't know what to fight for. And I'm not going to tell anybody what to fight for, because this is a learning experience for them. They hope that they can run across another Black male math teacher that wanted to do it. Look, I didn't even write people up. The people I wrote up, it was because I had to write them up. You can go, if y'all talk to anybody in that school, everybody knew that I enjoyed going to work. I did. Even when I came home, I enjoyed. Me and my wife used to talk about the school, like, because I enjoyed going there. So, and you know what? Check this out. This is no lie. There's nothing they could do to get me to come back. Like I was thinking, like, what could it be? This is going to have to be a learning lesson for them. And, you know I love those students. But as a company, you have to pay a little better attention of your talent. Like, middle school math teacher, those are difficult. They difficult. And then you find one that wanted to come back, and check this out. You go to any middle school and find out about the turnover rate in math. The ones that don't leave, because they know how to do it. But the school that I'm going to, I'm excited about it. I know I may not look like it, but I'm excited because I believe I could move a little faster, because that was like the smallest like measurement of me thinking I know what I can turn the culture of some kids around. Like I had them like 5 months, and you know what? I'm going to check this out. I'm teaching summer school now. By the time y'all get this out, it'll probably be my last day. It'll be, yeah. So you got it. My last week will have already happened. So, and even in summer school, like I'm doing 5th grade. Like they made me feel like I was special. I've never I've always had great relationships in schools. But I don't know, these group of kids, I don't know. I think it was more because my intentional reasons of trying to become better made me feel like if you have a little patience, you can reach a kid. Like I tell you this, some of these kids, they got way more information than me. And when as an adult, I tried to pour in them. Y'all talk to any of them kids, they'll tell you. I was trying to get them here. I said, I want y'all to have what my kids have, but I only got them an hour, so they can only get so much, but they know I was trying. I got in their face, but I got in their face because I need them to know that we on the same team. Some of the toughest kids, they'll tell you, like, he always said we was on the same team. Like, they kids. They supposed to act like kids. So we can't be acting like kids if we want them to be mature. And that's what I realized. Kids make us act immature sometimes, and they miss the message. If we can't remain cool when they acting like a kid, we need to evaluate how we approach teaching, even parenting. Scaring kids, they can be quiet, but are they learning? Are they receiving the message? It took me a long time to realize that. But I do believe that kids love structure. And that's another thing. I think what separates really good teachers from good teachers is there's a structure that everybody knows. I'll give you an example. And this is classroom management 101. And people don't even talk about this, but I know this works for a fact. Nobody's allowed to open the door without my permission. Nobody's allowed to be near the door unless they throwing paper away. But even if somebody's at that door and it's an adult, they can't open the door without asking for my permission. I said, I don't care who on the other end. If it's an adult that can get in there, use their keys. Other than that, you turn around and ask me. And you know what this does? Everybody knows that rule. But what it does is it reduces that door opening when you turn your back. Because nobody's supposed to be by the door. You just create a culture where kids can be by the door. You see kids in and out. Kids don't sneak out of my room. And when they do, maybe they needed to do it, and I don't go look for you because I feel like this. I'm trying to give you everything I can. If I'm coming and look for you, it's taken away from all the other ones. And all the other ones are more important right now because I'm here to teach math. And my students know that. They know I'm trying to give them everything, That was something that teachers need to know. This is something all teachers should know. That was some real game right there. Don't let anybody open that door without your permission. Nobody. I don't care who's on the other side. It could be their parent. It could be assistant principal. It could be the principal. Do not, and they can point down and they need to look back and say, hey, Mr. Lewis, is it all right if I open the door? Oh, for sure. Because it creates a protocol in the classroom where if that door opens, everybody knows, they're looking at me because they know. And, I'll tell you this, it's, kids aren't perfect, but this is the best times, when you catch them and they'll be like this, who opened my door? And they'd be like, I'm sorry. No problem. Just next time, don't do it. Keep it moving. And they'll do it 2 or 3 more times because they're just not thinking. And, sometimes teachers can get mad, you're doing this on purpose. No kid wants to get an adult mad on purpose. But this is the type of teacher that they're losing. The one that was really trying to figure out the formula to becoming really good at this. They dropped the ball. I know that sounds scary, but they dropped the ball. And they still was underpaying me. Like, what? I'm really getting underpaid now, but, you know, it is what it is. If I was as good as I thought, that wouldn't be getting paid like this, right? So apparently I played the wrong way or something, because the way that I'm thinking now, if I was like this in the beginning, oh, yeah, we wouldn't be right here right now. Like, I understand to all teachers. If you look forward to weekends, or you look forward to holidays, vacations, and you're not working on your craft, then it's a job. But if you work on your craft no matter what, it starts to look different. Like when you work on your craft every day, like I say, okay, you don't have no kids, you need rest, but you need to be working on your craft. Like, it's that important. If you want to be cold, I know they be talking about tests, master teachers, you do this or whatnot. There's a level of mastery that you can't get unless you work on it every single day. Like, at some point, you understand what works and what doesn't work. You know the effort you got to put into it. But if you don't approach teaching like that, it's probably the reason why we're underpaid. And I'm not gonna lie, like, people say teachers need more money. I don't know anybody that really do that. That's why NBA players make a lot of money, or a professional, whatever. They work on their stuff every day. Why teachers don't do that? Because we don't approach it the same way. And that's just my opinion, right? Like, my opinion is like this. I've seen so much growth in me as a teacher from the way that I approach it now. Teaching math, I look at it like, if I work on it every day, at some point I got to become really good at it. So I look at it like, as far as playing in sports, everybody, they got this routine. You find teachers that do that, they different. They kids different. And I'm not saying that there aren't good teachers out there that don't do that, but I know if you do this, you different. And like I said, I've only done it for like 4 or 5 months, and I've grown that much as a teacher that I wish I would have taken it seriously like this in the beginning, because there's a level of mastery in teaching that I know can happen. Just got to work toward it. I just hope maybe young people who end up going into teaching, they approach it like that. Because if you can teach somebody anything, if you really understand how to do that, people will see growth everywhere. So put that work in, everybody. So that is the teacher that they're losing or lost. Honestly, I feel like if I was rich, I would go get compensated for the money that they promised me. I really would. And I would do that just on the principle. Not that it can't help me, but I just feel like profit companies take advantage when I know that their intent is to make money, but they do want to make a difference. I just don't feel like I was treated fairly. And I lost a job because they promised me. And they continued to change all of the information. And now I'm here. But this wasn't a plea for me to go back, because I wouldn't go back. I really wouldn't. I'd stand firm on that. I think my students would understand that this company is going to have to learn just to be more aware of their talent. They still don't know the talent that they have in the building, but when you're dealing with a profit company, we're just, I don't know. I hope we're making a difference. But y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.